The quantum particles danced across Dr. Elena Martinez's holographic display, performing their ethereal ballet exactly as she had predicted. After 15 years of research, countless failed attempts, and 3 complete rebuilds of the quantum acceleration chamber, she finally had proof. Her hands trembled as she initiated the recording sequence, documenting what would become humanity's greatest scientific breakthrough, or its most closely guarded secret. The basement laboratory at MIT hummed with energy as the quantum drive prototype continued its stable operation. Elena glanced at the timestamp, 43 minutes of sustained quantum tunneling, far beyond anything previously achieved. But her moment of triumph was interrupted by rapid footsteps descending the stairs. Dr. Martinez, her research assistant, James Chin, burst through the security doors, his face pale. "You need to see this. Now." Elena's irritation at the interruption faded when she saw the look in his eyes. She followed him upstairs to the main conference room, where a crowd had gathered around the central display. The newsfeed showed what appeared to be a massive object decelerating near Jupiter's orbit. The caption below read, "Breaking. Confirmed first contact. Unknown object approaches solar system." Admiral David Richardson stood before the Joint Chiefs of Staff 3 days later, his weathered face illuminated by the stark lighting of the Pentagon's secure briefing room. The object has been identified as a vessel approximately 3.2 kilometers in length. It's maintained its position near Europa and has begun broadcasting on multiple frequencies. Have we decoded the message? General Sarah Hayes leaned forward, her cybernetic eye whirring as it adjusted focus. Partially. Richardson activated a holographic display showing complex waveform patterns. "Our AI systems have been working around the clock. It's not a peace greeting." He paused, letting the tension build. "It's an ultimatum." Elena sat in the back of the room, still processing how quickly she'd been pulled from her lab and brought to Washington. The quantum drive prototype, disassembled and secured in a military facility, represented humanity's only technological advantage over what was coming. She listened as Richardson continued. "They call themselves the Helios Collective. The message outlines their terms for our integration into their federation. Integration being a polite term for subjugation." The room erupted in controlled chaos, military leaders and civilian advisors all speaking at once. Elena noticed a quiet figure in the corner, an older woman with silver hair tied back in a severe bun, who hadn't said a word but seemed to be taking in everything. The woman caught Elena's gaze and gave her a slight nod. "Dr. Martinez," Richardson's voice cut through the noise. "Please brief the room on Project Quantum Leap." Elena stood, her heart pounding but her voice steady. She'd practiced this presentation countless times in her mind since being contacted by military intelligence. 3 days ago, my team achieved sustained quantum tunneling effect at a macro scale. In simpler terms, we've discovered a method to fold spacetime in a controlled manner, allowing for faster-than-light travel without the theoretical limitations of traditional propulsion systems. The room fell silent. The silver-haired woman smiled. "The prototype is small, barely large enough to transport a coffee cup. But the principles are scalable." Elena brought up her own holographic display, showing the quantum particle dance she'd observed in her lab. "With proper resources and development time, we could adapt this technology for military applications." "How long?" General Hayes's cybernetic eye focused on Elena with unsettling intensity. "Under normal circumstances, 5 to 10 years. Elena took a deep breath. "But given the situation, if we dedicate all available resources and work around the clock, maybe 6 months. "You have 3, the silver-haired woman spoke for the first time, her voice carrying an authority that made everyone turn. "I'm Director Sarah Chun of Special Projects Division. As of this moment, Project Quantum Leap is under my jurisdiction. Dr. Martinez, you'll be transferred to our facility in Nevada. We'll have everything you need." The next 12 weeks passed in a blur of endless workdays, breakthrough moments, and devastating setbacks. Elena's team grew from her small MIT group to over 300 of the world's best scientists and engineers. The Helios Collective maintained their position near Jupiter, occasionally broadcasting updates to their ultimatum, clearly confident in their technological superiority. They had no way of knowing about the quantum drive, or the massive ship being constructed in secret beneath the Nevada desert. They couldn't know about the breakthroughs Elena's team had achieved, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and engineering capability beyond anything previously imagined. As Elena stood in the observation room, watching the first full-scale quantum drive power up, she felt a mix of pride and terror. The massive engine core pulsed with ethereal blue light, quantum particles dancing on a scale visible to the naked eye. Director Chin stood beside her, both women watching as humanity's future took shape before them. "They think we're primitive," Chin said softly. "They expect us to surrender or fight a hopeless battle with inferior technology." She turned to Elena, her eyes reflecting the quantum drive's blue glow. "They have no idea what humans are capable of when our backs are against the wall." A young lieutenant burst into the observation room, tablet in hand. "Director, the Helios fleet, they're moving. Multiple ships just appeared in orbit around Mars. They're coming." Chen's expression remained calm, but Elena saw her hands clench slightly. "How long until they reach Earth?" "At their current speed, 48 hours. Chen nodded, then turned to Elena. "Is it ready?" Elena looked at the quantum drive, her life's work now humanity's best hope for survival. The particles danced their perfect pattern, stable and controlled. Just like in her lab so many weeks ago, but now on a scale that could power a warship. "Yes," she said, her voice firm. "It's ready." "Good." Chan activated her comm link. "This is Director Chen. Operation Prometheus is now active. All personnel to battle stations. The universe is about to learn why you don't underestimate humanity." The bridge of the U.S. Prometheus hummed with nervous energy as Captain Maya Rodriguez watched the holographic display tracking the Helios fleet's approach. Earth's first quantum-powered warship remained hidden in low orbit, cloaked by a combination of advanced stealth systems and the quantum field itself. The massive vessel represented humanity's greatest achievement and their greatest gamble. Helios fleet maintaining course, Lieutenant Sarah Wong reported from her tactical station. 23 capital ships identified, supported by approximately 100 smaller vessels. They'll enter lunar orbit in 6 hours. Maya nodded, her dark eyes fixed on the display. The enemy ships moved with absolute confidence, making no attempt to conceal their approach. Why should they? As far as they knew, Earth possessed nothing that could threaten their technological superiority. Dr. Elena Martinez stood at a secondary console, monitoring the quantum drive's performance. The scientist had insisted on being part of the first combat deployment, despite Protocol Officer Chen's objections. "Quantum field is stable," she reported. "All parameters within expected ranges." "Message incoming from Helios Command," Communications Officer Jackson announced. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies." "Let's hear it," Maya ordered, straightening in her command chair. A deep, resonant voice filled the bridge, speaking perfect English. "People of Earth, this is Supreme Commander Vexthor of the Helios Collective. Your time for consideration has expired. Submit to integration, or face immediate pacification. You have 1 standard hour to transmit your surrender." Maya exchanged glances with her XO, Commander David Chin. They'd been expecting this, but the reality of humanity's first interstellar war still felt surreal. She opened a secure channel to Earth Command. "This is Captain Rodriguez. We are ready to proceed with Operation Thunderbolt." Director Chen's voice came through, clear and determined. "Understood, Captain. You have authorization to engage. Show them what humanity is capable of." Maya took a deep breath, looking at each member of her bridge crew. They'd trained for months, but nothing could fully prepare them for what was coming. "Battle stations. Lieutenant Wong, configure quantum drive for combat maneuvers. Dr. Martinez, stand by for rapid field adjustments." The bridge transformed as combat protocols activated. Holographic displays shifted to tactical configurations, and crew members donned neural interface headsets that would allow them to react at superhuman speeds. "Helios fleet launching fighter screens," Wong reported. "They're beginning standard conquest formation." Maya allowed herself a small smile. Standard for them, maybe. Execute quantum jump pattern alpha. Let's show them how humans fight. The U.S. Prometheus vanished in a flash of blue light, only to reappear instantly behind the Helios fleet's flagship. Before the alien vessels could react, the human warship unleashed a barrage of quantum-enhanced weapons. Beams of concentrated energy, their power amplified by the quantum field, tore through the supposedly impenetrable shields of 3 Helios cruisers. Direct hits. Wang's voice carried a note of fierce triumph. Enemy shields failed completely. They weren't configured for quantum-phased weapons. The Helios fleet scrambled to respond, but the Prometheus vanished again before their weapons could lock on. This time, it appeared within their formation, its quantum field disrupting their ship's systems merely by its proximity. Their combat computers can't track our quantum jumps, Elena reported excitedly. The uncertainty principle is working in our favor. They literally cannot predict where we'll appear. Maya watched as the Helios fleet's perfect formation dissolved into chaos. Their superior numbers meant nothing if they couldn't hit their target. The Prometheus danced through space, appearing and disappearing at will, striking from impossible angles and vanishing before retaliation. Message from Supreme Commander Vexthor, Jackson announced, unable to hide his grin. They're demanding to know what kind of weapons we're using. They're calling it impossible technology. Remind them who they're dealing with, Maya ordered, her voice steel. Quantum jump pattern beta. Target their command and control systems. The battle continued for 3 hours, though to the crew it felt like both minutes and days. The Prometheus suffered some hits. Even quantum technology couldn't guarantee perfect defense, but its advanced systems held. The Helios fleet, on the other hand, was in disarray. 6 of their capital ships had been disabled, their defensive systems overwhelmed by weapons they couldn't understand. Captain, Elena called out, her hands flying over her console. I'm detecting massive energy buildups in the remaining Helios ships. They're preparing for something big. As if in response, Supreme Commander Vexthor's voice broadcast again, but this time the confidence was gone. This is impossible. You were supposed to be primitive. You were supposed to be easy. That was your first mistake, Maya responded, opening a channel. Humanity is anything but primitive. We're innovative, adaptive, and we don't take kindly to threats. Stand down your forces, or we'll demonstrate just how creative we can get with our impossible technology. The response came in the form of simultaneous energy pulses from all remaining Helios ships, a desperate attempt to saturate the space around them with enough firepower to hit the Prometheus regardless of where it jumped. Quantum jump pattern Omega, Maya ordered calmly. Show them our full capabilities. The Prometheus executed its most complex maneuver yet, splitting its quantum field into multiple probability states. To the Helios fleet sensors, it appeared as if the human ship was in 12 places simultaneously, each version as real as the others until observation collapsed the quantum state. By all the stars, Vexthor's voice whispered across the comm, "What are you?" Maya stood from her command chair, her voice carrying the pride of her entire species. We are humanity. We don't bow to ultimatums, we don't surrender to bullies, and we certainly don't accept limitations on what we can achieve. Now, shall we discuss terms for your withdrawal from our solar system? The silence that followed was broken only by the subtle hum of the quantum drive, its blue light pulsing steadily as humanity stood its ground among the stars. 2 weeks after humanity's shocking victory over the Helios fleet, the U.S. Prometheus patrolled the edges of the solar system. The ship's quantum sensors, now calibrated to detect the faintest traces of faster-than-light travel, swept the void between stars. Captain Rodriguez knew the Helios Collective wouldn't accept defeat easily. Their retreat was just the beginning. Contact. Lieutenant Wang's voice cut through the quiet of the night shift. Quantum disturbance detected, but it's different from Helios signatures. Maya straightened in her command chair. Different how? More refined. Almost elegant. Elena Martinez looked up from her station, dark circles under her eyes evidence of countless hours studying alien propulsion signatures. They're using something similar to our quantum drive, but it's more evolved. The unknown vessel emerged from quantum space with a grace that made even the Prometheus's movements seem crude by comparison. It was smaller than their ship, its hull seeming to shift colors like oil on water. Most surprisingly, it made no attempt to raise shields or power weapons. "We're receiving a transmission," Communications Officer Jackson reported. Text only, translated into multiple Earth languages. Maya nodded. "Let's see it." The message appeared on the main display. "People of Earth, we are the Arcturian Republic. We have observed your defense against the Helios Collective with great interest. We come seeking alliance, bringing warnings of what is to come." After careful consultation with Earth Command, the Arcturian vessel was escorted to a secure orbital facility near Mars. Their ambassador, a being called Krell, defied all human expectations. Standing nearly 7 feet tall, with crystalline features that caught and refracted light, the Arcturian moved with an otherworldly grace that matched their ship's aesthetics. Director Chin led the first diplomatic meeting, with Captain Rodriguez and Dr. Martinez present as Earth's military and scientific representatives. Krell spoke in perfect English, their voice carrying harmonic undertones that seemed to resonate at a quantum level. "You have achieved something remarkable," Krell began, gesturing to a holographic display of the Prometheus. "In developing quantum drive technology independently, you've done in months what took our civilization centuries. But you must understand, the Helios Collective will return, and they will not underestimate you again." "We assumed as much," Chen replied coolly. "How long do we have?" 3 months, perhaps 4. They are gathering their full fleet, thousands of ships, not merely dozens. And they have begun adapting their technology to counter quantum-based weapons. Elena leaned forward. "You said you've been observing us. How long?" "Since your first quantum experiments," Krell admitted. "We detected the ripples in space-time. We've watched your species make impossible leaps in understanding, breaking through barriers that should have taken generations to overcome. It's unprecedented. Why come to us now?" Maya asked the question on everyone's mind. Krell's crystalline features shifted, creating patterns that somehow conveyed both concern and admiration. "Because you've done what we could not. For a millennium, the Arcturian Republic has used diplomatic maneuvering and technological superiority to maintain an uneasy peace with the Helios Collective. We've watched them absorb or destroy dozens of younger civilizations, always finding diplomatic excuses to avoid direct conflict. But you..." The alien let out a sound like wind through crystal. "You fought back. You won. And in doing so, you've changed the equation." Director Chen's eyes narrowed. "The Helios Collective will target you as well now, won't they? For not intervening on their behalf?" "Yes," Krell acknowledged. "Which is why we propose a full military and technological alliance. We offer our advanced understanding of quantum mechanics, centuries of diplomatic intelligence about the collective, and our fleet of quantum-capable ships. In return, we ask for your innovation, your tactical creativity, and your humanity." Elena's eyes lit up at the mention of advanced quantum mechanics, but Maya saw the larger implications. "You want us to be your shock troops. The aggressive edge your civilization lacks. We want you to be yourselves," Krell corrected. "In all our observations of Earth, do you know what amazed us most? Not your quantum breakthrough, impressive as it was. It was how quickly your entire species united in the face of external threat. How seamlessly you adapted your science, your military, your very way of thinking to combat a superior foe. The Helios Collective calls this primitiveness. We call it evolution in action." The negotiations continued for days, but the outcome was never really in doubt. Earth needed the Arcturians' advanced technology and intelligence about the enemy. The Arcturians needed humanity's innovative spirit and willingness to fight. When the alliance was finally formalized, work began immediately on integrating Arcturian quantum innovations with human tactical systems. The U.S. Prometheus underwent a transformation, its systems enhanced by crystalline Arcturian tech that pushed its quantum capabilities far beyond their original design. Elena worked closely with Arcturian scientists, each breakthrough bringing new possibilities for weapons and defenses. But it was in strategic planning that the alliance truly showed its potential. The Helios Collective has never faced a combined human-Arcturian fleet, Krell explained during a tactical briefing. Their entire military doctrine is based on technological superiority over younger races or careful diplomatic balance with equals. They have no protocol for the situation. Maya studied the holographic display showing the combined fleet formations. Human ingenuity paired with Arcturian elegance, creating battle strategies that would have been impossible for either civilization alone. Then let's make sure their first experience is memorable. As the deadline for the Helios Collective's return grew closer, the combined fleet grew stronger. But it was more than just military preparation. The alliance was changing both civilizations. Humans learned patience and precision from the Arcturians, while the crystalline beings found themselves embracing human adaptability and creative problem-solving. We may have discovered something even more powerful than quantum drive technology, Elena remarked to Maya one evening, watching human and Arcturian crews working seamlessly together. We've found a way to combine the best aspects of two completely different approaches to existence. Maya nodded, remembering Krell's words about evolution in action. The Helios Collective was about to learn that sometimes, the most dangerous thing in the universe isn't technology or numbers, it's the combination of differences coming together to create something entirely new. The crystalline surface of Krell's shoulder caught the dim light of the stealth shuttle's cabin as they reviewed the mission parameters one final time. Beside them, Commander Sarah Chin, recently promoted from her intelligence role to lead this critical operation, studied the holographic layout of the Helios Command Center floating between them. The quantum signatures will mask our approach, Krell explained, their harmonics pitched low for secrecy despite being alone in the cabin. But once inside, we'll have exactly 43 minutes before their sensor cycles can detect the anomalies in their quantum field. Sarah nodded, her cybernetic eye whirring as it recorded every detail of the hologram. The hard part isn't getting in, it's getting what we need and getting out before they realize we were ever there. The target was the Helios Collective's primary military command center, a massive space station orbiting a black hole in the Carina sector. The facility's quantum shielding made direct assault impossible, but that same shielding created microscopic vulnerabilities that the Human-Arcturian Alliance had learned to exploit. Team 2 in position, Elena's voice came through their secure quantum-encrypted comms. The scientist had insisted on coordinating the operation from the Prometheus, which waited at the edge of the system, ready to extract them or avenge them if things went wrong. Sarah checked her modified combat suit, a hybrid of human engineering and Arcturian crystal tech. Remember, Krell, when things go sideways, follow my lead. No hesitation. If, Krell corrected with what passed for an Arcturian smile, their crystalline features refracting light in complex patterns. If things go sideways. Trust me, Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. In my experience, they always do. The shuttle's quantum drive engaged, slipping them through a microscopic flaw in the Helios facility's defenses. Years of diplomatic contact had given the Arcturians detailed scans of the station's architecture, while human tactical analysis had identified the perfect insertion point, a maintenance shaft near the quantum core. They moved silently through the station's service corridors, their suits' adaptive camouflage blending with the metallic surfaces. Krell's crystalline body, usually a potential liability in stealth operations, had been modified with human-designed light-absorbing nanocoating. The Arcturian moved with impossible grace, each step precisely calculated to avoid detection. Sarah's cybernetic eye switched between spectrum analyses, searching for patrol patterns they'd studied in simulation. The Helios Collective's overconfidence worked in their favor. They never expected anyone to penetrate this deep into their command center. Primary data core ahead, Krell whispered, their harmonics barely registering. Human pattern recognition was correct. The security cycles are precisely predictable. Sarah allowed herself a moment of pride. Humanity's greatest strength had always been finding patterns others missed, seeing connections that turned weaknesses into opportunities. The Helios Collective's rigid adherence to what they saw as perfect protocols had created blind spots that only human intuition could exploit. They reached the data core's access terminal, and Krell began interfacing with the system using crystalline quantum processors that could slip through Helios cybersecurity. Sarah kept watch, her augmented senses alert for any deviation from the predicted patrol schedules. Accessing strategic database, Krell reported. Their encryption is elegant, but flawed. They rely too heavily on quantum state security without considering classical vulnerabilities. How long? Sarah's cybernetic eye detected a slight variance in the thermal patterns of a nearby corridor. Something was changing. 3 minutes to complete data extraction. Their fleet movements, technological adaptations, strategic. Krell stopped mid-sentence, their crystalline form shifting colors in what Sarah had learned to recognize as alarm. This is unexpected. They're not just gathering their fleet. They're moving their entire civilization. Sarah's tactical training kicked in, processing implications while maintaining focus on their surroundings. Moving where? According to these files, they're abandoning their core worlds, converting their entire population into a mobile armada. The attack on Earth isn't just about conquest, they're looking for a new home. A distant alarm began to sound, but it wasn't for them. Something else had triggered Helios security protocols. Sarah's instincts screamed danger. Time to go. Now. Data extraction only 87% complete, Krell protested. Trust me, Sarah grabbed the Arcturian's crystalline arm, ignoring this strange sensation. This is where human intuition trumps mathematical certainty. We need to move. They barely cleared the data core before emergency barriers began slamming down throughout the facility. Sarah led them through maintenance shafts and access tunnels, following alternate escape routes she'd memorized against Krell's initial objections. The Arcturian had insisted one escape path, properly calculated, was sufficient. Sarah had insisted on having backup plans for her backup plans. Security forces converging, Krell reported, their harmonics tense. Primary extraction point is compromised. Sarah smiled grimly. Good thing humans never rely on just one exit strategy. Elena, Plan Charlie 7. Now, the Prometheus, hidden in the black hole's shadow, executed a precisely calculated quantum jump that briefly disrupted the station's defensive grid. In that moment of vulnerability, Sarah activated her suit's emergency quantum beacon, a hybrid of Arcturian precision and human recklessness that nobody had been entirely sure would work. Reality twisted around them as the quantum field engaged. For a fraction of a second, Sarah felt her consciousness spread across multiple probability states, a sensation she never wanted to experience again. Then they were in the Prometheus's evacuation bay, alarms blaring as the ship executed another quantum jump to safety. I told you it would work. Elena's voice came through the speakers, though Sarah detected more relief than confidence in her tone. Extraction successful, Sarah reported to command, helping Krell steady their crystalline form after the quantum transmission. But the intelligence we gathered, it changes everything. The Helios Collective isn't just coming to conquer Earth. They're running from something. Krell's crystals shifted through patterns of concern. If a civilization as powerful as the Helios Collective is fleeing their home worlds, then we need to know what they're running from, Sarah finished. And we need to prepare for something much bigger than we anticipated. As the Prometheus raced back to Earth, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that their successful infiltration, rather than providing answers, had only revealed how deep the mystery truly went. The war for Earth's independence had just become part of a much larger struggle, one that would test not just humanity's strength, but its capacity to face the unknown. The combined fleet of Earth and Arcturus assembled in the shadow of Neptune, a breathtaking array of human ingenuity and Arcturian elegance. The U.S. Prometheus led the formation, its quantum-enhanced systems now fully integrated with crystalline technology. On its bridge, Captain Maya Rodriguez watched the tactical display with growing concern as Elena Martinez and Krell presented their analysis of the stolen Helios data. Their entire civilization has been converted for war, Elena explained, gesturing to the holographic projections. Every ship is both a warship and a colony vessel. Their population has been distributed throughout their fleet to minimize vulnerable civilian concentrations. An entire species mobilized for total war, Maya mused. No wonder they're so desperate to claim Earth. They need a new home. Krell's crystalline form shifted through patterns of deep concern. But the question remains, what could be so threatening that it would force the Helios Collective to abandon their home systems? Their technology is centuries ahead of most known civilizations. Multiple quantum signatures detected. Lieutenant Wang's voice cut through their discussion. Massive fleet emerging from quantum space. It's them. The tactical display lit up with thousands of contact markers as the Helios fleet arrived. Their formation was different from before, no longer the arrogant display of power, but a desperate, ruthlessly efficient battle configuration. They've adapted their quantum shielding, Elena reported, studying the sensor data. Our previous tactics won't be as effective. Message incoming from the Helios command ship, communications announced. Supreme Commander Vexthor's image appeared on the main screen, but his usual imperious demeanor had been replaced by something harder, more desperate. So, the Arcturians have finally chosen a side. You realize this means the end of your civilization as well. It doesn't have to, Maya responded, standing from her command chair. We know you're running from something. Let us help. Earth and Arcturus together might be able to. You know nothing. Vexthor snarled. What comes for us will come for you too, eventually. Better to take your worlds now, to strengthen our fleet, than to waste time with alliances that will mean nothing in the end. The transmission cut off, and the Helios fleet began its advance. But Maya had seen something in Vexthor's eyes, fear. Real, existential fear. All ships, battle formations, she ordered. Execute Operation Quantum Storm. The human Arcturian fleet split into smaller task forces, each led by a quantum-enhanced vessel. Months of joint training paid off as the two species moved in perfect coordination, their different approaches to warfare combining into something entirely new. The battle erupted across the solar system. Helios ships, despite their superior numbers, found themselves unable to counter tactics they'd never encountered before. Human vessels executed seemingly reckless maneuvers that turned out to be precisely calculated by Arcturian quantum computers. Arcturian crystal ships performed impossible feats of precision, guided by human intuition and creativity. On the Prometheus's bridge, Elena worked frantically at her station, coordinating with Krell as they analyzed the Helios fleet's quantum signatures. There's a pattern here, something in their shield harmonics. Their quantum field generators, Krell's harmonics pitched with excitement. They're all synchronized to protect against large-scale attacks, but that means they're vulnerable to concentrated disruption. Elena finished. Captain, if we can take out their primary quantum generator, it'll create a cascade failure through their entire defense network. Maya studied the tactical display, watching the massive Helios command ship directing the battle from the center of their formation. Give me a target point. Elena and Krell worked together, human intuition and Arcturian precision combining to identify the exact weakness in the Helios quantum network. Coordinates locked, Krell reported. But we'll only have one chance. Their adaptive algorithms will close the vulnerability within seconds. All ships, this is Captain Rodriguez, Maya broadcast to the Allied fleet. Concentrate fire on the following coordinates. Time on target protocol, everything hits simultaneously. The combined fleet executed a series of quantum jumps, appearing at precisely calculated points around the Helios command ship. For a fraction of a second, every human and Arcturian weapon was focused on a single point in space-time. The effect was catastrophic. The Helios quantum network, designed to distribute energy across their entire fleet, instead transmitted the overload to every ship simultaneously. Shields failed, engines stalled, and weapon systems went dark across their entire armada. Their quantum grid is collapsing, Elena reported, her voice tight with tension. But these readings. Captain, their reactor cores are going critical. If they blow, the quantum cascade could tear apart half the solar system. Maya opened a channel to Vexthor's ship. Your fleet is defeated, Commander. But if we don't act quickly, everyone dies. Let us help you shut down your reactor safely. Please, let us prove that cooperation is better than conquest. For long seconds, there was no response. Then, finally, Vexthor's voice came through, heavy with resignation and something else, relief. Perhaps it is time we talked. About everything. About what's coming. As the combined fleet moved to assist the stricken Helios ships, Maya caught Krell and Elena exchanging glances. They'd won this battle, but the revelation of what had driven the Helios to such desperate measures still waited. Whatever it was, at least now 3 civilizations would face it together. The quantum storm had passed, but in its wake, the true challenge was just beginning. The observation deck of the USS Prometheus offered a stunning view of Earth, its blue marble serenity belying the momentous changes of the past months. Dr. Elena Martinez stood with Krell and Supreme Commander Vexthor, watching as ships from 3 civilizations moved in harmony through the space around their world. The Helios fleet, once an invasion force, now worked alongside human and Arcturian vessels to construct a massive quantum defense network around the solar system. Your quantum technology was never meant for war, was it? Elena asked Vexthor, noting how the former enemy commander's posture had changed since their surrender. The arrogance was gone, replaced by a weary vigilance. No, Vexthor admitted, his green skin reflecting the Earth's glow. Originally, it was designed to detect and track them. He turned to face his former adversaries. We called them the Void Hunters. They exist in the spaces between quantum states, feeding on the energy of entire civilizations. We first detected them a decade ago, watching them consume the Centauri Alliance. By the time we understood what we were seeing, it was too late to warn them. Krell's crystalline form shifted through patterns of deep concern. The Centauri were as advanced as the Arcturian Republic. Their disappearance was assumed to be self-imposed isolation. They were the first, Vexthor continued, but not the last. The hunters move through space in ways we barely understand, leaving nothing but quantum dead zones in their wake. We believed that by conquering and absorbing other civilizations, we could build enough strength to fight them. But you never considered joining forces as equals, Elena observed. Working together, sharing knowledge freely. It was not our way, Vexthor acknowledged. We saw cooperation as weakness. Until you proved us wrong. The door slid open, admitting Captain Maya Rodriguez and Director Sarah Chen. They carried data tablets containing the final draft of the Trinity Accord, the formal alliance between Earth, Arcturus, and the Helios Collective. The quantum defense grid will be operational within the month, Maya reported. Combined fleet exercises are showing unprecedented levels of coordination. Whatever these Void Hunters are, they'll find humanity's solar system a much harder target than they're expecting. Assuming they come here at all, Chen added, her cybernetic eye scanning the tactical displays. The combined scientific knowledge of 3 civilizations might help us find a way to detect them before they strike. They'll come, Vexthor said grimly. They always do. But perhaps, together, we can be ready for them. Elena moved to her research station, where quantum field readings from the Helios data were being analyzed by a joint team of scientists from all 3 species. We're already seeing patterns we missed before. The human ability to recognize subtle connections, combined with Arcturian quantum mathematics and Helios observational data, we're understanding the universe in entirely new ways. Understanding born of necessity, Krell observed, their harmonics carrying an optimistic tone, but leading to possibilities none of us could have achieved alone. The Prometheus shuddered slightly as its quantum drive engaged, moving it into position to oversee the installation of another defense platform. On the tactical display, dozens of similar operations were underway, each one a testament to how quickly the former adversaries had learned to work together. 6 months ago, I would have said this was impossible, Maya mused, watching a Helios construction crew working seamlessly alongside human engineers. 3 different species, 3 different approaches to technology and warfare, all working as one. That's humanity's greatest strength, Chen said, surprising everyone with a rare smile. Not just our ability to innovate, but our capacity to bring people together. To find common ground even with those who were once our enemies. A strength we never understood, Vexthor admitted. We saw your adaptability as primitive chaos. But now we understand. It's evolution in its purest form. The ability to change, to grow, to become something greater than the sum of your parts. Elena's console chimed, drawing their attention. New quantum signatures detected at the edge of the system, she reported. But these are different. Ambassador Krell, they match the patterns you predicted. Krell moved to examine the readings, their crystalline form brightening. Yes, these are the quantum echoes of other civilizations, reaching out after detecting our combined energy signature. We are not alone in this fight. More allies. Maya asked, already calculating the tactical implications. More than that, Krell replied. More chances to learn, to grow, to combine different ways of thinking and being. The Void Hunters may have intended to drive us apart, to make us easy prey. Instead, they've given us a reason to come together. The group stood in silence, watching as Earth rotated below them, its night side now glittering with the lights of new quantum technology installations. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, not as conquerors or victims, but as partners in something greater than themselves. A new dawn, Elena said softly, not just for humanity, but for all of us. And whatever comes from the void between quantum states, Maya added, her voice firm with determination, they'll find something they never expected, the combined strength of multiple civilizations, each making the other stronger. As if in response to her words, the quantum defense grid hummed to life, its energy patterns combining human ingenuity, Arcturian precision, and Helios power into something entirely new. Something that would protect not just Earth, but all of them, as they reached out to the stars not in fear or aggression, but in the spirit of cooperation that had turned former enemies into essential allies. The Prometheus's quantum drive pulsed with steady blue light, its rhythm now harmonizing with both crystalline technology and Helios quantum fields, a symbol of three civilizations becoming something greater together, ready to face whatever the universe might throw at them next.